Okay, so the preparation of this video took about 30 minutes to make. Now, the reason why it took about 30 minutes isn't because of the fact that I was making the script, even though this is the first script I've ever made, and it's still going to be post-designed, but the reason why it took me as long as it did to make is because I was debating whether or not I should make a video on this, the topic I'm about to discuss, which if I just start talking about it flat out, you're not going to understand, so I'm going to split up into 3 sections. The first one actually giving like the background information, the second giving you what actually happened, the third one, which is at the end of the video, which I'll tell you about. So with all this stuff out the way, let's get to the first part of the video, the background. Okay, so a couple of years ago in 7th grade, so this is a little bit before COVID, there was this girl named Sarah. Me and Sarah were really good friends, like really good friends to the point where like she would freaking scream on the top of her lungs if I was doing something impressive, and I would do the same thing for her. That's because we were cool like that. After COVID hit, me and Sarah started to talk to each other more and more, because we were still really good friends at the time. And it was around this time, a little bit before I started to develop feelings for Sarah. And she didn't really have the same feelings back. In fact, she actually said that. But later on, it's like during like quarantine, when we started talking to each other, she started to develop feelings for me too. So she basically put like us on like a free trial type thing. And what I mean by that is essentially she was like, okay, let's wait this out through the summer, see if we still like each other. And if by like a certain point we still like each other, then we'll start dating officially, right? So this went on for like 3 months of us just talking to each other, like really flirtily. And our flirty responses quickly became like genuine love responses, like we were already dating each other. Because it's like a month after she said that. So when we were talking to each other like we were dating each other, it was just like genuine love back and forth. Like we would tell each other good morning, good night, we would tell each other how we're doing, we would say I love you a lot. And it got to the point where we would text each other so much that it would take you like 50 scrolls just to get to the top for like the very first text. And like sometime in June, so this has been going on since it was like March, and then June, we were still talking to each other very consistently, and like we didn't burn out for each other like either like at all. And we would call each other and we would stay on the phone for each other for like hours on end, to the point where my parents were like, you sure you don't like her? And I'm like, no, we're just friends, Okay, so fast forward a couple months, and we were in the party with Darkness and Overly, and you know, me and Sarah in the party, and we were talking to each other, and she was gonna ask me out, but she became like really shy like last second, because of course, like we texted each other and she was like, I'm gonna ask you out. I was like, okay, bet. It was like she was gonna ask me out in front of our friends. She stopped herself like last second, so I ended up asking her out. So a couple months after that, I don't remember the details vividly because it happened like 2 years ago, in 2020. So I don't remember the details vividly, but the context of it was essentially something happened that involved Sarah and her phone, and she was basically like, let's break up, so that way you won't miss me too much, or either you didn't miss me, or like, that way I won't cheat on her before she came back. Now I managed to stop this, and we stayed dating. We didn't break up at that moment, which was a good thing, because in that same day she was like, okay, I take the back, I'm not gonna be gone from my phone. And I had like the biggest sigh of relief. Now the funny thing is, the next day, that's when it all went to hell. So the next day, me, Weeb, and Darkness were all in the party. We were playing Warframe, and we were having our normal conversations, you know, our normal really dark and offensive jokes, and that's when Sarah joined the party. Now we didn't stop this because we don't censor each other because another person joined the party. I stopped making jokes. Those two kept on because I didn't want to do anything to piss her off. They didn't really care though. So they said something super offensive, and she left the party because she was super offended, and then she broke up with me that day because of their jokes, not my jokes. It was confusing, and I laughed it off, but it was overall, I was just, I don't know, I was kind of in shock, right? I was in shock because I was like, what the hell just happened, right? Because it was a joke that they made, and then she broke up with me for it, and then for like that week, I was just trying to get back together. She's like, nah. No. Um, the same week, so like after she broke up with me, 1 to 2 weeks later, she started to date Darkness, right? And they dated for like a month before Darkness broke up with her, and then she tried to get with Matt. Then she tried to get with Weeb, and that didn't work out because Weeb was already dating Overly at the time. So she basically just became like the friend of the group, and then that's when like she started to hate on me super bad, right? And ironically, because of that, that's when the other people were just like, nah, we don't fuck with her no more. She ain't pushing P no more, boy. It's time to exclude her from the group. And she dipped out for a while, along with some of the other people like Alex and someone else. It wasn't Captain. Captain left before that. It was Alex, and I think that was the only one who really left. But we were still talking to her. She was in the group, not the group, but she was like in the community thing before they took away communities. So she was still there, but she never joined the party, and we did not talk to each other for like a year after that. Which leads us to the second part of the video.
Wait till you see the. No, no, no.